World Bank in 2014, 2015.
Another panel of discussion is set up. Comments focus on perceived skills mismatch that most times creates stumbling blocks for fresh graduates.
We do know that a lot of the jobs and what we're doing now is going to change, and the knowledge we have is a foundation, but the jobs out there are going to change. We've also recognized that if we're going to move forward, we also have to change our teaching styles and become more facilitators of learning. Now, all these are going to take time. They require money. They require for us to work very closely with industry so that there's a sort of backward integration, so that they are part of our curriculum. And we've started that. So we're working, and also in terms of our research projects, which is an easier way, because you find out what the problems are and you develop research projects. So we're not doing things in silo, which has been a major gap. So we're doing all that, and we're driving it.
I think the first one, skills being of importance. We talk about getting youth job ready so that they can pick up, either create employment for themselves or get the right kind of jobs. But most times it's just lip service. There are very few agencies, very few government institutions that are taking this seriously. Even in our little interactions with the state governments as we go around the nation, you realize that that's when you get to see those who are serious and those who are not serious. For the better part, they're not serious, and that's my opinion. I think the first thing they look out for is what's in it for them, and when it's not clear what's in it for them, they just start giving you the runaround. So that's the first thing you're going to get, which is the lack of genuineness and interest in the topic, by those who ideally should be and should drive this for us. So that's the very first one. The second one is, when I look at DNA specifically, not one single organization can address the gap. Not one single organization can come up with a bullet that solves all the problems. And you see each person doing his own initiative in a siloed manner. And again, this is where the agencies who are meant to manage this, come into play. In the sense that this company A has got laptops or PCs or devices that are given to help include technology literacy. Company B has got content. Company C has got whatever it is they're adding to it. Why do we pull all of this together and make it work for us? And I'm not saying at the federal government level. No, it doesn't have to be. State level, for instance, local government level. What can we do to put company A, B, C, D's programs together and make those programs work? Rather than doing that, they are the ones that even will tell you around, oh, we signed an MOU here, we're not sure we can break the MOU. And you tell them, it's very basic. What MOU do you sign? To put laptops in the hands of kids. That's it. You put the laptop in. What's going to happen with laptops? They play games on them if you don't put content on them. In that second area. The third is, each time a program like this starts, there's a huge expectation from Nigeria because of our tele-density. Everybody believes, every other Nigerian has a smartphone. But what exactly are we doing with smartphones? As the people, we're not very conversant with learning using the devices in our hands. We're on Facebook, we're on one chat bot or the other, the latest gossip in town. The focus is not on learning. And when you have a learning program on this platform, you're also going to figure out how you're going to encourage people to actually learn, including giving them, tokens, whatever it is, to make them just want to spend some of that money for social on learning as well.
When you do find government putting in place the right institutional framework and the right policy framework, that we as partners rally around those organizations. And I think that that's what the LSCTF in the last 24 months has successfully become a poster child of, is the fact that once the framework is right, the governance structure is right. So we have an independent board of trustees. We're very hybrid. People don't really understand it. We have our own money. And therefore, it positions us to partner with IBM and to take DNA forward in a way that we don't really have to deal with the bureaucracies that I guess other states deal with.
Changing the youth, changing education, changing all these things, but it's really still we that are talking about it. Sometimes we have to also bring those young people in to say, what are the issues that they are facing? And we're trying to solve problems for people that sometimes we don't even know what their problems and challenges are, because we are sitting on the other side and sitting on the better side of the world. So let's go back and say partnerships are key. We cannot work in isolation anymore. Even private institutions cannot work in isolation anymore. No one can, and I liked what he said, no one can do everything. So the non-profit sector has to become more visible, has to become more transparent. We also have to become, and I'm talking to ourselves, we also have to become people of integrity, where people feel comfortable that if they give you those grants, you're spending it for the right things and you're doing the right things. And we cannot begin to also continuously count. It's not about counting quantity anymore. 5,000 people. I trained 5,000 people to go and get, and I've given 5,000 people certification. What's the quality of the training? And in 5 years' time, can we actually measure those things that they've done? So we have to change the way we're evaluating programs as well.
The panel discussions come to an end. Outside the hall, Cheveners speak on career freelancing and mentoring, a way of engaging the teeming young professionals.
The teeming youth, we need to help them. We need to help them to move forward. We need to identify the problems there are for the youth, employment, and equipping them for the digital age. And it must be sustained. And suddenly, what was discussed earlier about this career freelancing. With law, it's typically been freelancing if you're in private practice. But we find people, other professionals, freelancing in different sectors. So with law, there's nothing stopping you from doing business development, nothing stopping you from doing fundraising, and other spheres of life.
I'm very impressed with what people have said, especially what John said about mentorship, his support for the mentorship program. And now I see a concerted effort to get that into full swing, and a lot of people would want to support that. And I'm going to volunteer myself because I have almost 30 years as a journalist, and I need to be able to give something back to Nigeria, to the youths, and get them to really develop and get to where we are.
With an energized determination, the association believes the talks will resonate in all spheres of the country's private and public sectors.
So first of all, Chevening is really about identifying potential, high potential leaders, and I'm very proud to have been chosen in 1992, and it's played a very significant part in my life. And as an association, under the leadership of our president, Mr. John Momoh, the focus is really on contribution to national development, which is really what the whole Chevening concept is about, that we come back to our country and we're part of the solution that we want to see in the country. And that's what the association has been working very hard to do, and I dare say that we're doing a really good job of it. Well, I think today's conversation was very important. It's one that's very topical and relevant to where we are, talking about the bulging youth, talking about the future of work, education, practicalizing it, using the local context, because obviously that's really the future of the country. So beyond the conversation, it's to take it forward, as leaders in our organizations, collaborating with the public sector, going for advocacy, the civil society, everyone really coming together and pushing this conversation in practical ways across various industries and sectors, so that this really has an impact on the bottom line for the development of Nigeria.
We have a lot of Cheveners presently in government, and we have a lot of them in public sector. We have so many of them who are entrepreneurs and developing the Nigerian economy. Yes, we've made a lot of impact and input into government policies and even blueprints. Also, recently we talked about the budget, we spoke about digital empowerment and of the youths, and now at this summit, we are also trying to help the government on how they can forge the best way for machine learning, for artificial intelligence, for robotics, and so many topics today were discussed. From there, we'll impute and impact. We are going to have boot camps, and we're also going to have sessions for mentoring, where the president of the association and every other member and people who actually contributed today towards discussion will help us put them into a communique and action point. Each of them will be given a timeline where we can actually help the youth of this nation to learn beyond school and get the right skill set that will help them develop this nation. So that's how we're going to do them, through work stream, through more seminars, and also through session, where we can actually mentor the youth.
Perhaps it will not be long to see the manifestation of human capital development creating a boost for the country's economy.